Record. Hi Joan, this is your personal tutorial on how to do a cathedral windows quilt. You start off with a block, and generally the block should be twice the size of the desired finished block or square, plus a half an inch for the seam allowance. So I've started off with a 9.5-inch square of fabric right here. And then what I did is I folded it in half, and then I sewed up the sides on both sides, and I cut off the corner to ease the corners, and then you pull it apart so that the seams meet in the middle here, and you are then going to sew along this so you have like a little pocket kind of thing. Make sure you leave an opening in the pocket so that you can turn it. See, there's my opening. So what I'm going to do is I'm then going to turn it inside out and get a block that looks just like this. And depending on what your finished look is going to be, you may want to go ahead and whip stitch this closed. This is all turned inside out, and make sure you press the seams open and flat, both seams, so that it lays nice and flat. You can whip stitch this closed. Once you have that done, you will then start folding in towards the center your points. So each of these points would be folded in like this, and press them real good so they've got a real good seam in them, because you're going to use that seam to sew your blocks together. In order to get the windows look, you need to have at least 4 of these blocks to put together. And so I've got, well, this is what it would look like first with the seams closed. And then I've got 2 blocks put together. They're sewn together on this seam here. You see, these are sewn together. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to go ahead and add another set just like it, and then I would sew it across here on the fold so that it looks like one block. So it's a unit of 4 squares. Once I've got the 4 squares put together, I've ironed, see, these are together here and together here. I've ironed them up so that all of the tabs are in, except for that one won't stay still. And you can go ahead and tack them all down right here. You can do it with the sewing machine, or you can hand tack them. And you have 2 different ways that you can make your windows look. So if you want the look to be like this, then you would put your little 2-inch blocks on top of the actual diamond shape here. So you would go ahead and place your block so that it's in the center. And you would do that for each of the squares where you want your diamond or your window to show. So if I wanted it to look like this, then this is where I would put my diamond squares. If I wanted it to look like this, having them in the oval sections, then what I would need to do is open this up and open these up and put the square in here. And you could do a different color in each section, just depends on what you're looking for. Okay, and then tack these all down like that, and then when you open the window, you see this. Okay. So once you decide which way you want to do it, if you like it this way, then when you roll these out open, you will have something that looks like this. Okay, so whichever way you decide, finishing it is the same. So basically what you would do is, if you had it tacked down, you would iron this open so that it curves, and you can see that this is curved and sewn around that edge. Usually cathedral windows are done by hand because they're good traveling projects. So if you're going to be on an airplane or something like that, or just anywhere that you can't take your machine, these are good to work on, and most people like to hand stitch along the lines. I chose to machine stitch, and then there's what the back would look like when I machine stitched it. But this will also hold down the fabric that's underneath the window. Okay, same thing over here. When you stitch around the curve like that, by ironing it back and pushing it into a curve, it holds this fabric down. So you don't generally have to worry about stitching that down. But then you have these open windows here as well. So it just depends on which way you want to do it. In this particular case, these samples I did were just 4 squares. You've seen my other my bed runner that I made that was longer, which was just a bunch of these put together. You can alternate the smaller oval windows with the diamond-shaped windows. I've seen several books with that look in it, and I haven't tried that yet, but this is what I've got. So anyway, that is how you put together a cathedral windows quilt. And again, this is just a sampler. These are the ones that I showed you and Karen when you guys were down here. So if you have questions, you can give me a call. Bye.